Hi friends, Miss Christin here in a little sun tent on the back porch, coming to talk to you guys about poetry. April is National Poetry Month, and we're chugging along through April. It feels like halfway through, depending on when you stream this video. I had this profound idea to try to introduce haikus for toddlers, and y'all know. So while we will talk about haikus at the end of this video for our older patrons, not necessarily adults, although I would venture to guess that a lot of you grown-ups aren't quite comfortable with the structure of a haiku, but you will be after this, I promise. I want to talk about something that makes up haikus, which is syllables. And if any of you come to my baby rhyme story time when the library is open and we are not in a global pandemic, you know an activity we do every session is we hit out our names on the drum. That is a promotion of phonological awareness, which is just a fancy way of saying that words are made up of sounds, and there are smaller parts of words or smaller sounds in bigger words. Easy peasy. So I encourage you with the youngest of children to start getting them to understand that words are made up of sounds. This helps with their speech, this helps with reading, this helps with writing. It's all just like really important. So if nothing else you get from this video, clap out, stomp out, drum out the syllables in words. And a syllable is, there are some fancy definitions that get into the linguistics of it. We're not here for that. We have enough on our plate than learning linguistics. The way that we speak, we naturally break words up into syllables. So poetry, poetry, 3 syllables. You could do the word syllable, syllable. There has anyway, like I said, we could go into linguistics. We're not going to. It was boring when I did it in grad school. It would be boring to share with you now. So for your youngest ones, clapping out their name, clapping out, going around the house, going outside and just clapping out syllables. Your toddlers, your older toddlers and your preschool age children, they usually grasp on because it's something that they're actively doing. It's a kinesthetic learning activity, which some people grasp quicker than reading, which toddlers aren't yet doing, and writing. So I would say with the youngest of little ones, doing that would be a wonderful start to understanding the parts of words. And moving a little bit further, this is something you can have older siblings help younger siblings with as well. If you've got any first, second, third graders, they can help their little ones, their little brothers and sisters clap out the sounds and words, which may give you a little bit of a respite to, I don't know, hide in your closet for some quiet time. No judgment over here. I'm in a tent on the porch. But I wanted to share the great and late Dr. Seuss. He was pretty good with phonological awareness and having simple words rhyme, which is the foundation for a lot of our reading. And transitioning just from understanding syllables with our earliest of patrons, moving into our toddlers, I would recommend, because haikus are still a little advanced for toddlers, I would recommend tongue twisters. They're silly, which we can't get enough of giggles these days, and they rhyme, and they really help the palatal development of children as well. So I'm going to read one of my favorite excerpts from a Dr. Seuss book, Fox and Socks. This book I almost have memorized, but it's one of the last pages that I love. It's about Tweedlebeetles, and all of these words, you'll find when they go together, the endings sound the same. And so this is great for rhyming before we start talking about our tongue twisters. Well, what do you know about Tweedlebeetles? Well, when Tweedlebeetles fight, it's called a Tweedlebeetle battle. And when they battle in a puddle, it's a Tweedlebeetle puddle battle. And when Tweedlebeetles battle with paddles in a puddle, they call it a Tweedlebeetle puddle paddle battle. And when beetles battle beetles in a puddle, paddle, battle in the beetle, battle, puddle in, it's a puddle in a bottle. So not only is there a puddle on the ground, there's also a puddle in the bottle. It's very important you remember that. They call this a tweedle, beetle, bottle, puddle, paddle, battle, muddle. And when beetles fight these battles in a bottle with their paddles, and the bottle's on a poodle and the poodle's eating noodles, they call this a muddle, puddle, tweedle, poodle, beetle, noodle, bottle, paddle, battle. That's right. All of those things. So you can make very, very silly rhymes, which call on the imagination process of a toddler and of a preschooler as well. Or you can have some of your more traditional tongue twisters, like she sells seashells by the seashore. We'll have these will be on a handout that'll get posted when we have this video go live as well. Or Sam shaved 7 shy sheep. Or Becky blows big blue bubbles. Fred's friend Fran flips fine flapjacks fast. And little Arabella Miller had a fuzzy caterpillar. First it climbed up on her mother, then up on her baby brother. And then one of my favorites that my grandfather taught me when I was a little girl. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? So you can go as extravagant as you want with tongue twisters. You can use excerpts out of books. Like I said, Fox and Socks is one of my favorite. There's lots of Tweedle Beetle Battle-esque excerpts. His books are a little long. Any of you that have had to sit through, well, any of them could be up to 60 pages, like Fox and Socks, or like Cat in the Hat. But now, if you do have older children, poems are usually inspired by nature or emotions, both things that hopefully we're finding time to talk about with our little ones. We created a haiku poetry relay. So this will also be on an accompanying handout or flyer that will be posted with this video. To explain haikus, they're actually quite simple now that we understand what a syllable is. Haikus are made up of syllables. The first line has 5 syllables, the second line has 7 syllables, and the third line has 5 syllables. So understanding that makes it a little bit easier. Also understanding that it can be one word per line. You can find words that have 5 syllables, one word with 5 syllables or 7 syllables. So the whole haiku could just be 3 words, depending on the content of the syllables in each word. This is a haiku that can help explain how odd haikus are. Haikus can be odd. That line is 5 syllables. Sometimes they don't make any sense. That's 7 syllables. Refrigerator. That word has 5 syllables in it. It's a haiku. So on the handout that will go with this video, I've created some 5-syllable phrases to get them started. You can clap out the syllables in each word so that they understand that this sentence is 5 syllables. I created some 7-syllable ones. Also check my syllables. I could have miscounted on some. And then the last 5-syllable line of your haiku is completely up to your child to make up on their own. It could be one word. It could be a 5-syllable sentence. It's up to their imagination, and it's something that they can do on their own if they are reading independently, or it's something you guys can all do together. And I recommend silly. I think silly is the best way to engage the minds of preschoolers, toddlers, and also just school-aged children. The last thing I'll share for April Poetry Month video is my favorite poet, children's poet that I've memorized tons of, Jack Perlutsky. I know Shel Silverstein is a fan favorite, but Jack Perlutsky to me, he's the best. So I encourage you to go online, search for some of his poems. They're quite silly and they make you giggle. And like I said, we could all use a lot more giggles. So I hope you are all staying safe, enjoying this time together, and I hope we can see each other really soon. Bye, guys.